Hello students, welcome back to the class. So in the last class, as we were discussing about the rectilinear propagation of light, so half of the derivation is completed, and in the today's class the further half derivation we will see. Okay, so as I said, in a rectilinear propagation of light, we are taking a wavefront ABCD, and according to the Fresnel we divided a wavefront into a many number of zones like a circles M1, M2, M3, M4, isn't it? And we are going to find the resultant effect at a point O. So when rays are coming from all these zones, they are going to meet at a point O. So when they will meet all the rays at a point O, they will give certain amplitude. So nothing but what? The brightness we will get. So we are talking about that amplitude. So first thing we should understand here, the amplitude at a point O is depends upon three values. Okay, so first thing, it depends upon the area of the zone. Second thing, it is depends upon the distance. So distance of the zone from a particular point. And third thing, it varies with the obliquity factor. So obliquity factor is nothing but what? 1 plus cos theta value. And in the last class already we came to know about the area of the zone, how it depends upon the area of the zone. So see, as we got the value like a1 is equal to pi a lambda, a2 is equal to pi a lambda, an is equal to pi a lambda. So all the areas of the zones are same, they are equal. So that's what the amplitude is also equal due to all these zones. Meaning is what? When the light will pass out from these zones and when they will meet at a point O, so due to all the circles, they are producing a same amplitude at a point O. Why? Because all are having the same area. So as area is small, the amplitude at O due to the all these zones will be what? Equal. Okay, so this one already we studied, and now in the today's class we are going to talk about these 2 points, how it depends upon the distance and how it varies with the obliquity factor. So see here, as it is inversely proportional to the distance, I said. Why it is inversely? Because see, the P point is nearer to the point O, isn't it? So when light will pass out from a point P, it will reach to the O. So what? The brightness will be more. Suppose the zone how go on increases in number M1, M2, M3, the distance also increases to reach a point O, isn't it? So the distance as goes on increases. So what about the amplitude? It will go on decreases. Just like what? See, suppose here this is a bulb which is giving the light. So when you are nearer to the bulb, of course you will get a more brightness. If you go away from the bulb, the brightness goes on decreases and decreases, and at one point it can be 0, isn't it? So like that, the same thing is happening here. Okay, so what? It is inversely proportional to the distance. So as the distance of the zone increases, the distance covered to reach a point O also increases. So what? The amplitude goes on decreases. This is the second point. And third point, as I said, it varies with the obliquity factor, that is 1 plus cos theta. So let's talk about those things. See here, what is happening? So due to the zones, as light is going to reach at a point O, isn't it? So this is the point where we are going to find the amplitude. Here all the rays are meeting. So this is the first center point P. This is the first circle M1, second circle M2, third circle M3. So now when light comes out from P and when it reaches to the point O, so it will cover a distance. So how much distance it will cover? Is equal to A, as already I said in the last video. So A distance it will cover. And now the one more ray will come and it will pass through the first zone, that is M1. So when after passing through first zone, again it is reaching to the point O. Okay, so when it reaches to the point O, it will cover a distance. Which is the distance here? OM1. And already I said what is the distance of the OM1. Okay, so what is the distance of the OM1? A plus lambda by 2. Okay, so now the second ray is covering a distance is equal to A plus lambda by 2. See, 2 rays I am taking. One is the first ray, it will comes from P and reaches to O. So how much distance it will cover? A. and the second ray which is passing through M1 and reaching O, how much distance it is covering? A plus lambda by 2. So if it is the case, then both the rays, the first and second ray, are traveling a unequal distance. They are moving a what? With the unequal distance. And so if they are moving with the unequal distance, of course from the figure we will come to know the second ray covered a extra distance than the first ray. So see here, its distance is more than this one. So how much extra distance it will cover? That one we call it as a what? Path difference. Okay, so what would be the path difference? This distance minus this distance. So how much we will get? A plus lambda by 2 minus A, which is equal to lambda by 2. So this is what the path difference between these two rays. So between these two rays, the extra distance covered by a light ray is equal to lambda by 2. And as already I said, if path difference is equal to lambda by 2, then the phase difference will be equal to pi, because according to the formula. So see the last video, you will come to know how it will be pi. So phase difference is pi. So now meaning is what? This ray and these rays, when they will reach O, no, there will be a some phase difference in terms of angle. Okay, and that phase difference is how much? Pi it is having. So this is if all the rays are moving from O only. Say first ray will move through O, second ray also will move through O. So if all the rays are moving with the same line, then what will be the phase difference? Yeah, 0 you will get. Meaning is what? See, first ray moves from P to A, P to O, how much distance will cover? A. Second ray again from P to O, if it moves, how much distance it will cover? A. So when all the rays are covering the same distance, then phase difference will be what? 0. But from this to this ray, what will be the phase difference? Pi. Like that, if you go on calculating for different zones, see here distance covered is what? A plus 2 lambda by 2. So if it is the case, what would be the this phase difference between P and M2? Yeah, of course you will get 2 pi. Understanding? So like that, it will go on increases. See, this ray phase difference is 0 and these rays phase difference is 0, and some rays will be there in between these 2 points. They are coming between O and M1 also they are coming. Okay, so in between whatever the rays are coming, what would be their phase difference? So for those rays, we will calculate the average phase difference. We will calculate the what? Average phase difference. So how to calculate the average phase difference? This plus this divided by 2 you will make. So nothing but 0 plus pi divided by 2, which is equal to pi by 2 we will get. Understanding? So in between P and M1, whatever the rays are coming, those phase difference will be what? Pi by 2. Like that, if you take this and these two, M1 and M2, now what would be the rays coming in between those two? So pi plus 2 pi divided by 2, nothing but 3 pi by 2. So next if you calculate 5 pi by 2, like that it will be goes on. So now we calculate the phase difference. And when we calculate about the phase difference, this is very important to know about the amplitude value. Okay, so from these two things we can get the value of the amplitude. So see, when the light rays are coming from P and when they are reaching O, so we know that as they are nearer to the point, both for this O point, the P point is very nearer. So that's what the amplitude is much greater than all these rays, isn't it? Because they are far away. As distance increases, amplitude decreases, I said. So from these, what the light rays giving, no, the amplitude at O, it must be what? Higher. So that's what that amplitude I'll denote by this line. And I'll denote by what? D1. Understanding? And now the second rays, which are coming through the what? M1, they are reaching O. So that time the amplitude goes on decreases. Why goes on decreases? Because the distance is more than the P, isn't it? So now the amplitude value goes on decreases. So that's what we should shown by a what? Shown by a smaller lines. This is giving a much larger amplitude, so I shown by a long line. And second ray is giving a less value than the first one, so smaller line I drawn compared to the first line. Again, if you go for like third, fourth, fifth, what about the amplitude? Yeah, of course it will go on decreases, so the line value goes on decreases. So I shown a line value like this. Okay, so I hope you understood why the length of the line goes on in decreases, because the distance of these zones from the O goes on increases. So that's what the amplitude value means, brightness as goes on decreases. So I shown by a line. And second thing, as we saw, the phase difference is like this: 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, like that. So one phase difference value will be like this. That indicates that the amplitude due to the P, if it is positive, so positive I will shown by arrow mark, head arrow mark like this. Then the second ray shows the phase difference as pi, means it indicates that as its phase difference is pi, already we know, we calculated how it will be pi. So when it will be pi, then the amplitude due to the second zone will be what? Negative. So we will show like this. And again the third ray will be positive, fourth ray will be negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, like that it will be happening. Understood? See, two things you must know. Why we got a decreasing lines like this? Why the lines goes on decreases like this? This is the first thing. And second thing, why I shown a positive and negative amplitude like this. First reason is, as the distance of the different zones from O point goes on increases, so that the amplitude goes on decreases. So the decreasing line we got. And second thing, as the phase difference between first two zones is pi and the second zones will be 2 pi. So as phase difference pi means what we are getting? We are getting a positive negative amplitude. Okay, so this is what the reason. And now from this we'll do the derivation. See, from the first zone amplitude is D1, from the second zone the amplitude is D2, third D3, next D4, D5, D6, like that it will be going up to the what? Nth zone, up to the nth zone. Okay, so if these are the different amplitudes due to different zones, then what would be the total amplitude? Okay, I want to calculate the total amplitude. So I'll denote with the letter D. So total amplitude is the sum of all these amplitude. When you will add all the amplitude, no, so total amplitude you will come to know at a point O. See, as it is positive, so I'll write it as a D1. But see the second zone, it is a negative. Okay, so as it is negative, I'll write with minus D2. Again, D3 will be positive, plus D3. Next, D4 will be negative. Okay, so plus D5 dash up to Dn it will be going. So I hope you understood why it is positive negative, because of the phase difference of pi. So due to first zone if it is positive, due to the second zone it will be negative. So like that it will be going. So now I'll make certain rearrangement here. So from the figure we will come to know one thing, that D2 whatever is the magnitude is there, we are talking about a magnitude, not a positive or negative direction. So when we saw the length of this line, this is the average of these two, as it is middle one, so this is the average of these two. So how can we write the D2 value? Yeah, we can write D2 value as D1 plus D3 divided by 2. This plus this divided by 2. If you make middle line we will get. Okay. In the same way, if I go for D4, what is the value of the D4? Yeah, of course, it is the average of D3 and D5. So D3 plus D5 divided by 2. So like that it will be going. So every line, middle line is the average of the it is the average of the what? First and the third line. Every middle line is the average of the first and third line. Okay. And now for this equation I'll make a certain rearrangement. So see, this D1 whatever is there, I'll write like this: D1 by 2 plus D1 by 2. I'll split this D1 as D1 by 2 plus D1 by 2. So see guys, whether we are getting a d1 only, d1 by 2 plus d1 by 2, is it will give the d1 value only, isn't it? Because 2 d1 divided by 2, 2 to get cancel, again d1 you will get. So I splitted d1 as d1 by 2 plus d1 by 2. Next, minus d2 I'll write as it is. Again, the whatever the odd numbers are there, I'll go on splitting. Again, plus d3, I'll write like plus d3 by 2 plus d3 by 2, and minus d4 again I'll keep as it is. Next, again plus d5 by 2 plus d5 by 2, isn't it? So like that I'll go on taking up to dn or dn by 2 of till that we will go on taking. Now again arrangement, this d1 by 2 I'll write as it is, and now this one and this one I'll add. I'll make one group. So what I'll get, plus d1 by 2 plus d3 by 2. Okay, so this term and this term added, I made a one group. And what is remaining? Minus d2 is remaining. Okay, what is remaining now? Another d3 by 2 is remaining. So plus d3 by 2. Now this term and this term I'll make one group. So plus d3 by 2 plus d5 by 2 I'll make a group. And minus d4 I'll keep as it is. So plus dash dash up to dn by 2. We will get. Now this is equal to d1 by 2 I'll write as it is. And as we know, d1 divided by 2 plus d3 divided by 2. Nothing but what? d1 plus d3 divided by 2. Okay. And minus d2 as it is. Plus again what we can write? d3 plus d5 divided by 2 and minus d4 will be as it is. Plus dash dash plus dn by 2. Okay. Now this is equal to d1 by 2 plus what is the value of the d1 plus d3 divided by 2? See here. The value of the d1 plus d3 divided by 2 is d2. Okay. So I'll replace this value with the d2. And this minus d2 as it is. Again. Plus what is the value of the d3 plus d5 divided by 2? See here. Its value is d4. So write that. d4 and minus d4 as it is. Plus dash dash plus dn divided by 2. Okay. And see the terms here. D plus d2 minus d2 get cancelled. Plus d4 minus d4 get cancelled. So like that, whatever the terms are there in between d1 by 2 and dn divided by 2, all these terms in between terms go on cancelling. Okay. So finally it will be leaving with d1 by 2 plus dn divided by 2. Okay. So one thing we should understand here, if n is odd, if n is odd, this term will be living. If n is even, n means the number of zone. Which number of zone? See here, odd number zones only we splitted. That's what divided by 2 we got. So dn by 2 we will get only when n is odd. Suppose if n is even, we will get a term like this. Plus dn we will get generally. Plus dn minus 1 divided by 2 we will get when if n is even. Okay. Now the thing is, see, if it is the nth zone, which is at infinite point. So if it is at an infinite point, then go on decreasing amplitude like this. What would we get the last amplitude? So of course we will get a 0 amplitude at a last point. Understanding? So when n is at infinite point, if n is at a very large distance, so the amplitude due to the nth zone. Due to the nth zone, when light will reaching at point O, it doesn't have any brightness, isn't it? So that's what the amplitude will be 0. Means dn by 2 term we can neglect. When? If n is very large. If n is very large, then what we can do? dn divided by 2 term get neglected. It can be neglected. Okay. So if it neglected, then what is the final value of the d? So d is equal to d1 divided by 2. Means d1 is what? This is the amplitude due to the first zone. Due to the first zone. Understanding? So d1 by 2 means half of this. Understanding? means what? Whatever the light rays coming through M1, they are having the amplitude, isn't it? So that amplitude half is going to reach at a point O. This will be the resultant amplitude. Understanding? D is the resultant amplitude at a point O. From the derivation, what we got that value? That value is equal to D1 divided by 2. Means due to the first zone, half of that amplitude is reaching at a point O. Okay, and if it is the amplitude, what about the intensity? So you know intensity is proportional to the square of the amplitude, that is a d square. So nothing but is equal to d1 square divided by 4. So this is fourth value of the square of the amplitude due to the first zone. So that much intensity will be there at a point O. Understanding? Means what? If any obstacle is there, if you keep any obstacle to here at the first zone, then we will get a dark value at a point O. There will not be any light at a O. Why? Because it purely depends upon the first zone amplitude. Even 1/4 of that amplitude. Understanding? So when obstacle will be there, we will get a dark point. If there is no obstacle, then whatever the amplitude is coming from the first zone, fourth of the square of that amplitude will be reaching at a point O. Means from these zones any light is coming, no, that will not play any role for the what? The intensity or the amplitude at a point O. Okay, so I hope you understood the derivation. So see the before video and this video, then only you will understand the complete derivation part. Okay, thank you.